Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generation StudioSeries 8631 Optimus Prime. We have the Commander class Optimus Prime in our hands finally. And starting off, I mean, it's a good looking truck mode. I was one of the more skeptical people coming into the Optimus Prime release. I don't necessarily need another Optimus Prime. It's a lot I've played around with MP44. I've enjoyed, the Earthrise mold. I'm not a huge G1 fan, so getting another Optimus Prime was like, they're gonna have to do a lot to get me to see the value here. And I'll be honest, they have. Maybe it's a spoiler for the rest of the review, but he looks good. The transformation feels good. There's just a lot to like here. Looking at his alt mode first, we have what I think is a really nice and tidy cab for the truck. We've got, the Autobot symbol back here. We've got painted windows, but it looks like it's transparent blue plastic with silver paint on the inside, which is my favorite effect. I really like that they did that. We've got fuel cans down here. And, on the Earthrise mold, these kind of collapse and fold in all the time, but here that's not the case. The only real complaint is that this little section could have used an additional flap or tab or something maybe from the top to hide it. And then on my copy, as on many copies, these lights are misassembled. They need to be flipped and spun. So you want the red on the outside, the gray on the inside, but you want this blue piece to be on the top. It is something you could fix with a pin. You knock this out with a pin knocker and then flip it and put in the new pin. I haven't done that, but that is a complaint and an annoyance, and it's very prevalent. It might be on all the copies. The wheels spin pretty well. They're painted nicely. Yeah, things look good. And obviously he comes with his trailer, and we'll get into his trailer in a second, but I do want to show off some comparisons. So here we've got Optimus Prime, and here is Ultra Magnus, both of our StudioSeries 86 commanders, and they look pretty good together. With Optimus Prime's windows painted, now I kind of wish Ultra Magnus had his windows painted, but I like how they look next to each other. That's a really neat looking set of vehicle modes. I don't have a ton of other 86 figures that I want to compare him to. He looks good next to all of them. But here he is next to the Earthrise mold. And here we can see kind of the difference. Leader class, commander class. When this came out, I was already like, hey, this doesn't feel, it feels like it should be the, Voyager price point. The trailer doesn't feel like it filled out the value. I'll say that the difference between these two toys is that this guy kind of feels worth it for the commander just for the cab. I hope they do release just the cab by himself at a lower price point, at a leader price point. But even though I don't feel like I get much value from these trailers, the toy itself for Optimus Prime just feels really good in hand. So I think it's worth it. But yeah, he is, nice, big, and chunky. I like it a lot. And again, he comes with this whole backdrop, as well as on this trailer, we can kick out and turn these pieces so you can't have the trailer stand to itself. So the trailer stands off nicely on his own, and you can roll around Optimus Prime just as a cab if you like. You can also flip things around. The trailer is storage. We can split things open. And inside it, we've got the Robo Repair Bay, we've got Roller, and we've got some effect pieces. The effect pieces are really the only other things you can do with the truck mode. These you can combine together. Let's see if I can set these up right. Like so. And then he can shoot off, get airborne, which I dig. I dig that he comes included with that stuff. It's those little extra bits that do make it feel like, oh yeah, this is like a collector's toy. I like that a lot. My biggest complaint about the truck mode, which you just saw, is that these exhaust pipes are not that secure. There's a tab here that they kind of friction into, but if it sticks out too much, it's pretty easy. On this side, it's harder to knock it loose, but this side, the tolerance wasn't there, so it comes undone pretty easily. In addition to that, we've got roller, which does have a nice secure spot to set in right here. He can come out and he rolls just fine. Nicely painted again. And this is a cool feature, and it's called out in the instructions, strangely enough. And roller has an interesting feature. I mean, he rolls, obviously, but his seats are also designed for Titan Masters. So if you have, a Titan Master figure, you can get the feet past here and get them seated. And he can take 4 of them, which I think is interesting. It's something that's called out in the instructions specifically, which I don't understand why they did it. But I appreciate any Titan Master, consideration in 2024, just as a general thank you. He also can hold Optimus Prime's gun like so. And the gun does have a storage point in here. So you can store the gun, you can store his blast effects. They have little 5mm ports on the sides, or 3mm ports on the sides, so that you can peg things in. He's got his axe, he's got 2 blast effects. He does have his robot repair bay, which can come up like so. It can articulate out on this arm in 1, 2, 3 places, plus the grasping claw, which I do appreciate. And then this sensor can come up. You can't fit a Titan Master in here, but if you have a figure small enough in there, you could fit it in there, which is neat enough. And yeah, you could also, if you take this whole piece off, these 2 ports are spread far enough so that you can ride on top of roller like this, which is interesting. It's, all part of that play pattern, which I really, really like, that a StudioSeries figure is homaging the play pattern of the original toys. It's the thing that I think gets lost. It's the thing that I think gets lost sometimes when we're talking about collector's toys. I really like when there's a cool play pattern. And keeping Optimus Prime's original toy play pattern, even though they're trying to make it as, matching the original animated movie as much as possible, is a really neat thing. And yeah, he rolls nicely. He looks good in alt mode. And like I said, that transformation is really good, which we're going to get into right now. Optimus Prime's transformation doesn't have huge surprises, but it just feels really good and has a lot of neat little features. So the first thing we're going to do is flip in these wheels. That's like, standard Optimus Prime stuff. Then to build out the bottom of this cab and keep it consistently red, this whole panel actually comes down. You turn it out and away so it gets around the wheel. You flip this over to make the whole section blue, and you can hide it this way. And I like that a lot. I think that little extra step just helps make the cab feel more solid. Then coming in, the back of his legs are tabbed in to the back of the cab. We can open those up and flip those panels down on each side. We can split the legs, and we could come in here, split his heel and his toes. There's this little tab section that kind of puts the back of the cab together. We can flip it up on both sides, flip that in. Then coming up front to fully hide the wheels, there's just a little panel here that we're going to take and we're going to flip over. There we go. And those are the legs done. Coming up top, we are going to open up, this red section is tabbed in on either side of his front wheels. We just split those wheels and we're going to flip out that red section, letting us bring his hips all the way forward, and that'll click into place, like so. Then coming up here, and we've got our wild spinning exhaust piece. Up top, we have the sides of his cab panels that can come down. They both have pieces that can fold into like so, and we can press them all the way down like this. That gives us room to open up and split the front of the cab, popping that grille out. And that really just gives us room to get these arms out here. It's tabbed in two places. We can untab it back here and this tab back here. Same thing on this side. Oop. Get that up and over. Flipping these arms out into the sides to get them out of the way. With those arms out of the way, we can come in and we're going to swivel his waist around. But then we also want to swivel the top piece. Oh no, we don't want to do that yet. We want to open up these panels on either side, kind of forming what will be his actual robot waist, folding this section down. And with those out of the way, we can fold up these panel pieces, and that lets us swivel around his top part to get his kind of robot section all facing the right way. We can fold back down these panels. We can come in here and we can flip up his robot head like so. With these shoulder sections out of the way, we can come in and we can flip up his backpack, which does have this grill. His actual grill comes forward and folds up and away, and the whole section comes up and can secure nicely back here. And it forms, you know, a nice little backpack for him. We can flip up his ears, and we can flip up this blue piece. This kind of formed a section of the back of the cab. And then we just have these arms. These exhaust pieces come forward. The arms flipped. They were closed this way during transformation. They get flipped forward this way, and it kind of happens naturally as you're moving things around. But I want to make sure I include that step. Then we can open up his forearms and flip out his hands. And we have a great looking Optimus Prime here. I mean, when we say Generations has become mini masterpiece, I think this really exemplifies StudioSeries 86, Optimus Prime, and Ultra Magnus as both Commander class figures really show off that mini masterpiece style. I think for me, right, this feels like mini MP44. If the previous toys felt like mini MP10, this one is 44, and he looks fantastic. Really, really nice paintwork. You know, the silver grille, we've got the gray stripe. I like the blue hands. The colors look really nice, the white thighs. And it feels really good in hand. The plastic quality here, the build quality, everything feels nice and dense and compact. We've got a bit of a backpack, but I have never minded that so much on Optimus Prime. I think it helps him, you know, it's a place where he can store stuff and pull things out. Really nice articulation, a really, really good head sculpt. I like that head sculpt a lot. And it can tilt, it can wiggle, it can do everything you need an Optimus Prime head sculpt to do. And I like the, you know, gray painted faceplate. That looks great. We've got, you know, 360 on these shoulders, can go out that far. We've got a bicep swivel up top. We've got a 90-degree curl here, which is a little unfortunate, but if you want to cheat, you could go this way, flipping the hand around. It doesn't look quite as good. I do wish this was double jointed, but I can understand how things couldn't really work out that way due to transformation. We do have waist swivel, which we saw. It is a nice waist swivel that can go all the way around. We can go out so far, full Van Damme. He does have hip skirts that can get out of the way, letting us kick up, not quite past the 90-degree point. He can kick back at the 90-degree point. He can thigh swivel here, which the thigh swivel cut is really nice. He can go deep past 90 degree on the knee, you know, do his soccer kick kind of thing. He does have ankle tilt. So, you know, the articulation here is what you need to get Optimus Prime in some really cool dynamic poses. And he looks great doing them. And of course, we have all sorts of accessories. If we want to fold this arm back up and away, there's a 5mm peg here, which lets him wield his axe, which I think looks fantastic. You know, if you want to get him in a dynamic, like chopping, attacking position, he can absolutely do that, coming at you like a crazy axe wielding Autobot leader. He also has his gun, which I will note, I kind of wish this peg was a little longer. It just looks short, but it does peg securely. He does, oh, I didn't mention in the articulation, he's got articulating fingers. He's got, you know, wrists movement, and then he's got a double-jointed set of fingers and a single or double-jointed single finger up top. But none of that affects the way he holds things. His hand is molded in a way that he's got, you know, 3/4 of a 5mm peg here. The gun feels a little loose in hand. I do wish that it went through and gripped all the way through the cylinder, but it holds securely enough. So he's got that, and he can put on his blast effect pieces. And he's got 2 of them. You could put blast effects. There we go. You could put blast effects on his little repair bay, but I think he looks, yeah, this is the annoying part. It's just short enough that it feels like it gets knocked loose. You could put blast effects elsewhere. He also can obviously do like the repair bay thing with his repair bot coming out like so to take care of him as needed. So he does all the things that I feel Optimus Prime needs to do, but this is the 1986 Optimus Prime. So that means he, of course, has to do the Matrix scene from the movie. So we can come in here and we can open up his windshield like so. He's got a flap that flips up so you can pop your Matrix out and lose it on the floor. But he does have a Matrix, and because of his articulating fingers, he can hold his Matrix pretty well, you know, if you want to do that. This intersection, I do wish, with how premium everything else on the figure is, I kind of wish that was painted like silver or something. But it still looks pretty nice, and the Matrix, it's got the jewel and everything, that looks pretty nice. To me, Matrixes aren't anything super special. The Transformers 1 Matrix, where it had the divots in the arms for him to hold it up, I think is my favorite, but it's still neat that we got it. And for comparison, we can see how big this guy is compared to Earthrise. Now, obviously, Masterpiece 44, I did a giveaway for mine for Extra Life last year, but Masterpiece 44 is bigger than either of these guys. But if we get them kind of standing straight, we can see, you know, this is definitely a bigger Optimus Prime. And he scales better with Ultra Magnus too. If we've got him out pulling Earthrise away, there is how they look together. I don't think there's a ton of value in doing Megatron because the Siege Megatron is too small and we're getting a new Megatron next year. But I like how these guys look together. The only other one I think might be worth doing is if you're like, okay, I can get one Optimus Prime this year, which one should I get between these two? Well, they're almost the same size figure. They are doing 2 very different aesthetics. Now, obviously, this is Optimus Prime from a game that hasn't come out yet. Hopefully, it does come out. They have similar features. Obviously, this one has the trailer. There is like a $40 price difference between the two. Although right now, you can't get this Optimus Prime by himself, even though he's a leader figure. So yeah, I think he looks really good. It took a lot to get me on board with another G1 Optimus Prime, but similarly to Ultra Magnus, they managed to do it. It's really impressive. It looks really good. I dig Optimus Prime a lot. That being said, this guy is not going to stay in my collection. As cool as he is, as neat as he is to mess around with, I'm not keeping any of these guys, actually. Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, the Transformers Rise or whatever it's called 2-packs. It's all being given away, and the way you can win any of these figures is by going down to the link below and donating to my Extra Life. That's right. Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime, both Commander Class 1986 figures are prizes for my Extra Life donors. Same with all 4 of the Transformers reactivate whatever toys as one prize. You can go down, look at the page link, see all the prizes. If you donate $10 with the text Transformers Raffle, you'll be entered to win. And I'll be drawing the winners during our 24-hour live stream on November 2nd. That's it. Hopefully this review wasn't too long. Thanks for watching, everybody. Optimus Prime is an easy recommendation. If you can't afford them in your budget, maybe you can win this one by helping the sick kids at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great day. Bye.